Greetings fellow dungeon defenders, Jadalus here again bringing you another episode of Show Me Your DPS. This time we've got some wows and we've got some lols, so let's get started. Starting us off at number 10 we have the level 70 Huntress Silken. At least I think that's how you say his name. But anyways, the big thing I want to point out here is that he hits a top DPS of 181,916. Last week's episode, the number 10 spot was only 52,872, and the number 3 was 178,704. I'm sure as the show gains more popularity, we're only going to see those numbers increase. Alright, taking number 9, we have the level 70 Huntress Penguin. Penguin hits a top DPS of 205,049, and I think he really represents what just about every mid-upper tier Huntress player should aim for as far as DPS goes. It's nothing incredible, but it's solid, and it's definitely enough to get the job done. That and anyone who's in the 200k club is probably higher than about half the player base, so you definitely get some bragging rights for that. At number 8 we have the level 70 monk Gabe Nelson. Gabe hits a top DPS of 214,532. Now I don't know if it was because the number 1 in our last episode was monk or the various changes Trendy has been making to monks in recent patches, but I've definitely been seeing a pretty large rise in DPS monks running around, perhaps even more than huntress. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think it'll be interesting to see who remains most popular as more classes are introduced. At number 7 we have the level 70 monk Quantic Maki. Maki hits a top DPS of 223,282, and obviously the coolest thing about this is the chicken. Maki has the honor of being the first contestant on the show boasting the fabled chicken pet, and as you can see it's pretty impressive. It's only been upgraded to level 27 and it already has 1,979 damage. It still has 46 more upgrades to go, so I'll let your imagination do the math on how epic it'll be when it's maxed. At number 6 we have yet another level 70 monk Istanbul. He consistently hits a top DPS of 242,711, which is what I think's most impressive about his showing. A lot of the contestants will hit their top DPS once out of every 20 shots, maybe twice. Istanbul was hitting it almost every shot, and consistent damage is what's going to be most important in real in-game situations. At number 5 we have another level 70 monk Breaka. Breaka hits a top DPS of 249,265, which isn't too much more than number 6, but it's still more, and that's what counts. The highlight of this showing is that he achieves the DPS without his animus being maxed out, and without wearing a matching set. This does go to show you don't absolutely need a set to achieve a high DPS, but obviously he would have been hitting higher numbers if he had one. At number 4 we have another level 70 monk, Zeke. Like I was saying, I've been seeing a lot more DPS monks out there, and Zeke was doing them proud, hitting a top DPS of 319,142. As you can see, he's got everything going right for him to break the 300k mark. His weapon has 45 ups, he's got a nice matching set, he's got well over 300 hero damage. Overall, it's a good showing of some solid monk DPS and what you need to achieve it. Breaking us into the top 3, we have our show's first ever ranger, Red Corbin, hitting a top DPS of 375,657. I'm not sure where to begin with Corbin as he has a lot of things going for him. First off, his weapon has one of the highest upgrade levels I've seen with a very epic 74, and his animus has an equally massive 47 upgrades. Certainly takes dedication to get gear that good, so props to him for that. Coming in at number 2 we have the level 70 Squire Beach. Beach hits a giant 569,038 DPS, beating out the number 3 spot by nearly 200,000. His DPS is so high, in fact, that it's more than last episode's number 1 and number 2 combined. Hopefully Trendy won't watch this and nerf Blood Rage, but watching him certainly does make you want to get to work on a DPS Squire, doesn't it? And taking the coveted number 1 spot, we have a returning contestant, the level 70 Huntress Mongolian Schoolgirl. If you thought number 2 was crazy, check out this massive 645,920. I was completely blown away when he dropped in and busted out this crazy DPS. He assured me that his gear was legit. I honestly have no idea. You guys are going to have to be the judge on this one. And for our honorable mention, we have the level 70 apprentice Leon 058723. There's not much more to say on this one other than tra-la-la-la-la. Well guys, that's it for this week. What'd you think? Was the number 1 spot impressive? Why or why not? Post a comment and let me know, and until next we meet, fare thee well.